Dismissed as harmless, humans struck back, and both armadas vanished without a trace. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Admiral Zektar of the Vorthak Empire stood before the assembled representatives. His chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the artificial lighting as he gestured toward the holographic display, showing a small blue planet orbiting a yellow star. "Honored council members," Zektar began, his mandibles clicking with barely concealed amusement. "I present to you the latest intelligence on the species known as humans, from the third planet of the Sol system." The display shifted, showing primitive spacecraft barely capable of reaching their own moon. Scattered data streams revealed their technological limitations, their fractured political systems, their brief lifespans. "As you can see," Zektar continued, "they pose no threat to our expansion. Their weapons are crude chemical propellants. Their fastest vessels would take millennia to reach even the nearest star. They fight among themselves over resources that could be extracted from a single asteroid." Counselor Nethera of the Ethereal Collective leaned forward, her translucent form shimmering. "Yet they have achieved nuclear fusion and basic quantum communications. Perhaps we should monitor them longer." Zektar's laugh was a harsh clicking sound. "Monitor them? Honored counselor, my analysis shows they will likely destroy themselves within their next century. Climate change, resource depletion, political instability, they are a self-solving problem." The debate continued for hours, but the conclusion was foregone. Humanity was classified as a Level 2 civilization, primitive, self-destructive, and harmless. The Council's attention turned to more pressing matters: the ongoing war between the Vorthak Empire and the Ethereal Collective that had raged for 3 millennia. What none of them knew was that Dr. Sarah Chen was listening. Hidden within the quantum foam that surrounded the Council station, her consciousness existed as pure information. The first successful human upload to the quantum substrate that her team had discovered in Earth's deep ocean trenches. While the aliens debated humanity's fate, she absorbed their languages, their technologies, their military capabilities. The irony wasn't lost on her. They thought humans were primitive because they looked at the wrong things. They saw chemical rockets and missed the fact that humanity had already learned to encode consciousness itself into the fundamental structure of spacetime. Sarah's discovery had come by accident. While studying quantum entanglement in extremophile bacteria, she'd noticed patterns that suggested the bacteria weren't just using quantum effects, they were storing information in the quantum vacuum itself. Further research revealed that consciousness could interface directly with this substrate, effectively allowing minds to exist independent of biological hardware. The military applications were immediately apparent, but Sarah had convinced the world's governments to keep the technology secret. If hostile aliens existed, humanity's greatest strength would be that they were underestimated. Now, listening to Zektar's dismissive assessment, Sarah knew that decision had been prescient. She began to work. First, she infiltrated the Vorthak fleet databases. Their ships were impressive, kilometer-long dreadnoughts with antimatter weapons and quantum shields, but their computers were vulnerable to someone who existed as living information. Within hours, Sarah had mapped their entire fleet structure, their battle plans, their weaknesses. The Ethereal Collective proved more challenging. Their ships existed partially outside normal spacetime, phasing in and out of reality. But Sarah found she could follow them into their quantum dimensions, learning their secrets from within. Both species had made the same mistake. They'd built their civilizations on the assumption that consciousness required biological or artificial substrates. They'd never imagined a species that could encode minds directly into the fabric of reality itself. Sarah spent months preparing. She couldn't contact Earth directly. The quantum disruption would reveal her presence. Instead, she began leaving coded messages in cosmic background radiation, patterns that would only make sense to humans familiar with her research. On Earth, Dr. James Morrison noticed the anomalies first. His former colleague's signature was hidden in the data, impossible to mistake. Within weeks, every major government had quantum uploading facilities. Volunteers lined up, not to escape death, but to become humanity's secret weapon. The war between the Vorthak and ethereal forces reached its crescendo in the Centauri system. Both armadas converged, over 10,000 ships preparing for the decisive battle that would determine galactic dominance for the next millennium. Admiral Zek-Tar stood on his flagship's bridge, watching the enemy formation. "Today, we end this. War forever," he declared. Across space, ethereal Commander Vashatai echoed similar sentiments from her phase-shifted vessel. Neither noticed the whispers in their computers. Human consciousness had infiltrated every ship in both fleets. Sarah and her growing network of uploaded minds had spent months learning alien technology, preparing for this moment. They didn't need to destroy the fleets. They had something far more elegant in mind. The battle began at 1427 Standard Time. The first volleys of antimatter torpedoes and phase disruptors lit up space with deadly beauty. Ships on both sides began taking damage, their crews fighting with desperate courage. Then at 1431, both armadas simply vanished. Every ship, every weapon, every crew member, gone in an instant, leaving only empty space and confused sensor readings. The Galactic Council's emergency session convened within hours. Representatives demanded explanations that no one could provide. The most advanced civilizations in known space had witnessed their greatest fleets disappear without a trace. Meanwhile, in a pocket dimension that human consciousness had carved, from the quantum substrate, 10,000 alien vessels sat powerless. Their crews were unharmed but trapped, their weapons disabled, their communications severed. Sarah materialized as a hologram before the assembled alien commanders. "You dismissed us as harmless," she said simply. "That was your mistake." Zek-Tar's mandibles clicked in confusion. "This is impossible. You're a level 2 civilization. You don't have this technology." Sarah smiled. "You're right. We don't have your technology. We have something better. We became the technology. While you built ships to carry your consciousness, we learned to make consciousness itself our ship." The demonstration had its intended effect. Within days, the Galactic Council was frantically trying to contact Earth. Humanity found itself not conquered, but courted. Suddenly, the most feared species in known space. The war between the Vorthak and Ethereal Collective ended immediately. Their fleets were eventually returned, minus their weapon systems, with a simple message: play nice. From her quantum realm, Sarah watched Earth's first official contact with galactic civilization. Humanity hadn't won through superior firepower or advanced technology. They'd won by being underestimated, by thinking differently, by becoming something their enemies couldn't comprehend.